Hey guys, my name is Jason with Baker Mining and Metals, and on today's video, we've got some mail from YouTube. Let's open it up, check out what we got here. Look at what we got. 100,000 subscribers. That is pretty cool, you guys. We did it. That was you, me, and everybody. We made this happen. It took over 10 years for us to get here, but we have our silver YouTube play button. Look at that. So a huge thank you to you guys. I really appreciate you supporting our channel, all the viewers out there, all your suggestions, all your support over the years. That's really cool. This is an achievement we got together, all of us. So I really appreciate it. But on today's video, what I wanted to do, other than talking about our 100,000 subscriber play button, is I wanted to take kind of a look back over the last 10, 12 years of the company. I've got over 300 videos I've done over the lifetime of our channel. So I wanted to just kind of make a compilation, talk about some of the stuff we've done over the years, go back and visit some of our earlier videos and what we've done to get us here, to get us to 100,000 subscribers. So we're going to go through and I'm going to talk about the history of the company a little bit, where we got started and where we ended up here at 100,000 subscribers. But first, two quick announcements. We've got, I know you guys have been asking about hats and shirts over the years. We finally got our hats and shirts figured out. So I will leave a link in the description about how to buy Mount Baker Mining and Metals hats and shirts. We got a bunch of different options for you guys to choose from. And secondly, I've started a second channel. It's called S&J Forest Products. I will also leave a link in the description, and you can also find a link on our Mount Baker Mining and Metals channel as well. So sit back, we'll walk our way through kind of the last 10 years. And again, thank you guys so much for helping me achieve this. This is really great. Hi, my name's Jason Gaber with Mount Baker Mining and Metals. So as I mentioned earlier, we just broke our 100,000 subscriber mark. And for this video, I wanted to do a little bit of a look back over the last 10 or 12 years since Mount Baker Mining and Metals has been an LLC. And we were formed back in February of 2011. And my dad and I started the business together, and we're still 50-50 partners. And we started the business because at the time I was working in an underground mine, an underground gold mine, and the owners of the mine were shipping all the raw ore that we mined about 350 miles away to the east side of Washington, where the ore was being crushed up and run through a mill over in Republic, Washington, one of Kinross's large gold mills. And we were very interested in trying to make a concentrate on site. So rather than shipping 30 or 40 full dump truck loads of ore across the mountains, which was eating up a huge amount of the profits of the mine, we wanted to look at making a concentrate, getting a small scale mill up on site and crushing the ore there. And instead of shipping 30 dump truck loads, you only ship maybe one dump truck load, or you put 55-gallon drums of concentrates on the back of a pickup and you shipped it that way. And so that's really how we got started. And my dad and I took our own money and bought some small scale crushing and mining equipment and put together the small scale pilot plant mill. And as soon as we got it ready to test up at the mine shut down. And we never did end up getting a chance to test the mill that we built up on site. And so we had a mill that we built with no mine to run it in. And so over the next couple summers, we went and we would collect samples of ore and bring down some 5-gallon buckets of ore and run it through our system. But the mine, it was very clear at that point, the mine was not going to open up again. And so my dad and I decided that we would sell it. And so we put a small 15-word classified ad in the ICMJ mining magazine in the classified section, and figured, well, we'll see what happens. And we got call after call after call. And this was back in 2011, 2012, right when the price of gold was up at $1,800 an ounce. And within the first week, the mill sold full price. A guy drove up from Arizona, bought it, paid cash, put it in his truck, and left. And we thought, well, that was cool. I'm glad that worked out. And so what do we do next? Well, we bought this classified ad, and it was supposed to run for 3 months or something. And we kept getting call after call after call of people that wanted this mill or were interested in the mill. And we kept saying, no, we sold it. Well, after about a month, there was a guy that had called back 3 or 4 times and was trying to work out a deal. And he really wanted us to build another mill for him. And we said, no, we're not in the mill designing business. We don't build mills. The 3rd or 4th call, he said, well, I'm going to send you some money, and I really want you to build me another mill. My dad and I looked at each other and we said, well, okay, I guess if you're going to send us money, we'll see what we can do. And that was really the first time that we decided, wow, there might be a business here. And so we went around and we borrowed some equipment and we bought some equipment and we sold some stuff to buy more things. And we cobbled together our second mill and sold it to this guy in Nevada. And then that equipment that we had purchased, we started making YouTube videos of. And that is really how we got our first jump start for selling equipment, was through YouTube. And one of our first videos is of the yellow mill. I think we had it on a trailer, and the small shaker table that I think was actually built out of plywood and 2x4s. And our first idea for the business was to go around and custom mill for people. So we were going to put this small mill on a trailer, drive it around all over the western United States, and run samples and test people's tailings and ore piles and see what kind of recovery we could get. Well, we never did get a call from someone who wanted us to go and test their piles. We just kept getting calls for people that wanted equipment. And so after we sold our second setup to Nevada, and someone called, said they had saw the YouTube videos of our second system, and they were in Indonesia, and they wanted us to build a small system they were going to ship to Indonesia. I think that was in April or May of 2011. And that's really when we decided, okay, we're going to go into business. We need to start figuring out how to manufacture this stuff, because we can't keep driving around all over the western United States finding old, worn out jaw crushers and conveyors and mining equipment to resell. So then we started getting into the business of the manufacturing side. That's when we really started to build equipment. And it all started in the shop behind the house that I was living in at the time. There was a long chicken coop. It was a chicken coop in the 30s that had been converted into a little shop. And that's where we started. And it was me and my dad, and I was answering the phones, and he was helping manufacture stuff. We bought our first forklift. And in October of that year, my son was born. And so then I had a newborn baby and a business that was actually really doing very well at the time. And it was just me, and I was trying to juggle all this stuff. Really, the turning point in our business happened in December or January, where we had a customer come over from Dubai, and they wanted to be our distributor. And they came over, toured our facility, saw our equipment, and they went back to Dubai, and then they purchased a large amount of equipment. And my dad and I decided that we needed to hire our first employee because we couldn't manufacture all that stuff. And so by March or April, we had 3 or 4 employees working for us. And when the business was starting, we were really focused on mining. That's what we knew. My background is in geology. I have a Bachelor of Science in Geology from Western Washington University. I worked in the gold mining industry. I'd worked underground in the mines. And we really focused on gold mining and recovering the gold from the rocks, liberating the gold and recovering the gold. And we continued posting YouTube videos of our jaw crushers at the beginning, crushing up rocks, or the hammer mills crushing up ore, our shaker table running. And the YouTube videos got such good exposure on the YouTube platform that we started getting people calling, asking about crushing other things. Like first it started simply with, can it recycle concrete? Can it crush river rock? Will it make gravel for my driveway? Can I crush rocks on my property? And that was well within the scope of what a jaw crusher or a hammer mill could do. So that was a real basic, straightforward growth opportunity for us, was to start crushing other aggregate material. And then we started getting people calling in and say, well, I own a glass recycling business. Will it crush glass bottles or jars? Well, I own a fertilizer making factory. Will it crush down this certain type of mineral? I own a dog food making facility. Will it crush bones? And so we quickly realized that we weren't in the mining equipment business anymore. We were in the crushing stuff business. So that was really where we started to focus on. And it really made some good early videos for YouTube. Is it was kind of like a what will it crush channel, or what's he going to crush next to the jaw crusher. And when we started diversifying our videos and diversifying what our machines could do, the business really expanded quickly to where we were getting calls from people way outside of even the crushing industry. They wanted to know how a hammer mill would process scrap metal, if it would crush and liberate the metals from computer boards or recycled electronics. And so now, by this time, we've been in business 3 or 4 years, in 2015, 2016, and all of a sudden we were servicing 4 or 5 or 6 different industries. And we still do today. And I would group those into 4 or 5 categories. Mining and general aggregate crushing, I would say, is still our largest industry that we service. But one of the other large ones is scrap metal recycling. So we learned early on that the scrap metal industry relies on shredders and large hammer mills to liberate the valuable non-ferrous metals from the ferrous metals or other garbage or plastic. So we quickly realized that these larger hammer mills that we were building were really very well suited for scrap metal processing. And we had some customers that purchased some hammer mills for scrap metal, but then we really started digging into the scrap metal industry, and we started doing samples for people. And one of the easiest examples of how a hammer mill can increase the value of scrap metal is probably either small transformers or electric motors. These are just a bunch of copper wire wound up into steel plates. And so when you throw them down a hammer mill, it just beats the tar out of this thing. And if you keep it in the hammer mill long enough by putting in the correct size screen, the copper and the steel plates completely liberate from each other. And then we developed a system where the hammer mill would discharge the material out onto a flat conveyor belt. And if they were fully liberated, the steel, which doesn't have very much value, is magnetic. And so we started hanging a overband magnetic cross belt over the flat conveyor belt, and all the magnetic cross belt, and get thrown into the steel bin. And all the valuable copper that was clean and worth a lot of money now that it was clean would go into a separate bin. And so we've sold a lot of scrap metal processing lines and scrap metal processing hammer mills. One of the other large industries that everybody is very fascinated with, and we've been working very hard to try and perfect the system, is the electronics recycling industry. And from our mining background, we knew that if you have an ore that has a ½ ounce or 1 ounce of gold, or maybe 20 or 30 ounces of silver, that was an ore that was worth processing. If you had a pile of rock with that grade. Well, when we started looking into the electronics recycling and the computer board recycling, an average value for that stuff is 2 or 3 ounces of gold per ton, 30 to 50 ounces of silver per ton. A lot of it is about 35% copper by weight. There's platinum, there's palladium, there's tin, it's no question the richest ore on the planet is waste electronics and waste computer boards. And being from the mining background that we are, we thought, well, just throw them all in a hammer mill and grind them up and liberate the metals from the fiberglass and the plastic and the waste. and run it onto our shaker table. And the metals are dense, the plastic and the fiberglass is not, and the shaker table will separate the valuable material from the less valuable material. And we started experimenting with that and putting out YouTube videos showing the process. And again, people started calling, and it's a great idea. They were very excited about it. And so then we were using the same equipment that we haven't changed any of the equipment. We've just been applying it to different industries. And so we've been selling lots of PCB processing lines, computer board processing lines. They're very, very popular in Europe, in Eastern Europe, as well as the Middle East. They have a lot of the resource over there. And so we've been selling those like crazy over into those countries and regions. And because we have been selling our equipment to so many of these different countries, we've had opportunities to go and travel to some of these places. Currently, we have equipment in over 70 countries around the world. And it's given me this great opportunity to travel around. And we've been to places in Eastern Europe, Romania, Czech Republic, Poland, France, Italy, and in Europe. We've been to 4 or 5 different countries in Africa, Kenya, Sudan, Egypt, Mauritania, been to Dubai. I've been to the Central America. We've traveled all over the US, going to visit our customers, help them tune in the equipment. And we've made videos of this process along the way as well. And YouTube has been a real central engine for our business. And without YouTube and without the subscribers and without the viewers, we would not be in business, because you guys really, you think what we're doing is cool, and you help get the word out and you help spread it around so that other people in these industries can find us and can contact us about our equipment. So I wanted to say that I really, really appreciate the subscribers, and I really appreciate the viewers and everything you've done with us and just getting the word out there. And I really appreciate all the comments that you've given us, and that you really do think what we're doing is cool and it's fun to watch. And it's funny because I make the equipment and I run it all the time. I've run jaw crushers a lot. I still enjoy watching my own YouTube videos of a jaw crusher running or a hammer mill processing scrap metal. It's a very satisfying thing to watch. And I appreciate you guys tuning in every week or two when we post new videos, commenting. I've gotten a lot of support from you guys. So I wanted to say I really appreciate that. And on that same line of I appreciate you guys watching and everything you've done in the past, we have lots more stuff coming up. And I'm really excited to share some of our new products with you guys, some of our new videos, a lot of our smelting and experiments with gold mining, gold concentrate smelting, and stuff like that. So I have a lot more to share. This isn't the end by any means. This is really the beginning. We've reached our 100,000 subscribers, and now our next goal is 250,000 subscribers. So I hope you guys can follow along with us and watch us grow and watch some of the cool stuff that we have coming up. One of the things that I really want to explore in the next couple of years is collaboration videos with some other YouTubers. And I've got 4 or 5 different people I'm really excited that I've contacted. We're going to do a lot of collaboration videos in the next couple of years. And once things open up again and we can start traveling again, do a lot more traveling videos and go to some of our past customers and see what they're using the equipment for, see how they're profiting from the equipment, and what kind of problems they're solving with our equipment. So stay tuned for that kind of stuff. Also, don't forget that we do have hats and shirts available now on our YouTube store, so you can check that out on our channel. So I'll leave you guys with this. I just wanted to say thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.